crafty friends, it's Tasha. I'm back with a scrapbook layout process video. Today we're going to be using this really awesome collection called By the Sea by My Mind's Eye. I really love the nautical theme, and it's got all kinds of pretty papers. And I'm going to be scrapping today a picture of my family when we took a trip on the Argosy Harbor cruise. Now, this is like a boat that takes you around Puget Sound near Seattle, and my family was visiting me last summer, and we decided to take them. It was so much fun. If you live near Seattle and you haven't done it, I do recommend it. Even though it's a tourist attraction, you get really great views of the Seattle skyline and the shore. So these are the papers that I have to work with. I also showed a Simon Says stamp kit that I got last year. I think it was around summertime. It was called Sail Away With Me. And it comes with like a stamp set and some papers and a couple of little embellishments. Oh, there it is. So what I've decided to do is I really love the wave stamp. So I'm going to create like a little cluster of waves using my embossing powder. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp that using my Versamark ink. But before you emboss, I do recommend, if you don't have an embossing buddy, this little bag that I'm using, it's got starch. I think it's like starch powder or baby powder. It helps keep the static off of your paper so that your embossing comes out really crisp and clean. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp using my Versamark ink. And the Versamark ink is just a sticky ink that helps the embossing powder stick to the image of the stamp. And I'm using my long acrylic block. And I'm just going to stamp this on the page in several different spots. I kind of want to keep the water towards the bottom half of the paper so that it'll look like my photo is like kind of floating in the water. And I used to do this all the time whenever I was a card maker. I would emboss so much because embossing, it's so pretty. It turns out so professional looking. So I actually don't do it enough. I wish I would do it more on my scrapbook pages. So it's always fun to do new techniques or techniques that you haven't used in a while. So right now I'm really into watercoloring and just creating some fun mixed media elements on my scrapbook pages. So here I am sprinkling the white embossing powder, and this is just a little plastic spoon that I got from Baskin Robbins. They have like the little sample spoons. Well, I didn't want to go on a website and buy like 1,000 tiny little spoons, so I went to Baskin Robbins and asked them if I could have 4 or 5, and they gave them to me. So that's what I use inside my my little embossing bowl. So I've sprinkled all my embossing powder on. Now all that's left is for me to dry it with my heat tool. Oh, I'm going to stamp a couple more waves. It's really hard to see the embossing, the embossed images until you actually sprinkle the powder on. So, and there you can kind of see it when I tilt it a certain way. So I'm just going to make sure to close my lid back up, make sure that all of my stuff is put away. And embossing Versamark ink is kind of difficult to get off your stamps just with a baby wipe. So I do recommend an actual stamp cleaner. A lot of people use the Stays-On stamp cleaner, or there's a few others out there. And you can just buy that at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. So here I am embossing the powder with my heat tool, and you can see when it's done, it's really shiny and it turns really pretty. It's like watching magic right before your eyes. See? Oh, I love it. I need to emboss on my scrapbook layouts more often. So here I've picked out a couple of my distress inks to use for watercoloring. I've got Faded Jeans and Chipped Sapphire. And I'm just spraying some water to kind of loosen up the color, to kind of dull the pigment just a little bit. And I've also pulled out tumbled glass. So I recommend whenever you're watercoloring, start out with your lightest color and just work towards the darker colors, because you never know, once you start watercoloring with your dark color, it may be too dark, and you could always add more water to lighten it up, but just rather be safe than sorry. I always start out with the lightest color. So I'm using my watercolor brush that I got from Michael's recently. This is a Recollections water brush. And as I'm watercoloring, I'm squeezing the barrel to add more water. And I'm also going to use my Ranger little spray mister to add more water to the page as well. So I'm going to go ahead and stop talking right now and put some music on so you guys can watch me watercolor my waves. And I'll be back. Alright, so we're back, and I went ahead and dried off camera my watercolor. I let it air dry a little bit, and then I also used my heat tool to dry it up. So now I've decided that I want a few layers behind my photo just to make it pop off the page. So I've picked out a couple of the 6x6 papers from the Simon Says Stamp card kit from last year, and I believe these papers are by Authentique. And these papers are really, really cute, and they match the My Mind's Eye papers pretty darn well. The shades of blues and the reds and everything. So I went ahead and cut out the center of that because I want to save as many scraps as I can, since I'm going to be creating several pages using these nautical items. So I'm just going through and looking at the different papers, trying to decide exactly how much of the papers I want to add. And these are just so cute. I absolutely love working with themed stuff, like my Disney stuff that I had been working with. It makes everything so easy whenever you have a whole bunch of papers and embellishments that match perfectly together. I find it a little more challenging whenever I don't have a lot of the same collection to work with and I have to end up mashing up different collections together. So this was really, really easy to put together because the papers are just so well matched. And I love that red pattern. It looks like wallpaper almost, but it's just really, really pretty. So here I am just figuring out where I want my photo, and I'm going to go ahead and use this new foam stuff that I found in my stash. I guess it's not new if I found it in my stash. But this came actually in a paper tray ink kit called Shakers and Sprinkles, or Sprinkles and Shakers or something. And what it is it's double-sided adhesive foam. And I think it was originally created or put in the kit for shaker cards. Well, I found it and I'm totally going to use it up so that I can have something to boost up my photos and add more dimension and things like that until I can get some fun foam. And so I pulled out the sticker booklet. Now this is a sticker packet that came with the My Mind's Eye collection, and it has really, really awesome sticker elements and labels and alphas. So right now I'm trying to decide where I want my title to be. And I've pulled out 3 different alphas. I've pulled out that glittered silver alpha. I think it's called Doll. I've also pulled out a really, really cute red skinny alpha. And then I'm going to use those little blue alphas with the silver letters. So my title's going to be Out to Sea, and at first I think I want it down there to be partway on the photo, and then I realized that the silver glittered letters get kind of lost. So I do end up placing it to the left-hand side of the photo, but it'll end up looking like it's on the right side of the page. And here I am with my fine liner. Guys, you will not believe what happened to me. So you know I have these new fine line bottles, right? Well, I accidentally forgot to put the top back on my Scotch Quick Dry fine liner. And I was trying to put the needle back in, you know, it kind of like threads right into the little metal thing. So I was trying to put it in, and it was stuck. It would not go in. See how it's going in right now? Takes me a little bit, but it actually got in. Well, I couldn't get it in. I forced it, and then the whole thing just kind of bent sideways. And I was like, oh, what the heck? So I've only had these things like 2 weeks, and I've already broken one. Has that happened to anybody? I was so excited to get these things. I was like, yes, it'll never clog. Yeah, as long as you do what you're supposed to do and put it back in the bottle directly as soon as you're done using it. So, yeah, that happened to me. So now I have to go and buy a new cap. I still have the bottle, but I have to buy a new cap. So, anyway, back to the layout. I ended up putting that really cute label sticker. It says Bon Voyage. So I put that underneath my title to kind of ground it a little bit so it doesn't look like it's floating. Get it? Floating. Anyway, I'm in one of those moods today, guys. It's Sunday. I get to spend all day in my craft room today. So, yeah. And I also pick out that really cute banner. It's like a nautical themed banner on the top left corner. So I'm not quite sure if I want it to stay there, so I just kind of stick part of it on the photo so that it could just kind of hang out and I could see how I like it. And I don't like it, so I go ahead and take that off. Instead, I pick out another banner just to put at the top left corner, and I'll do that here in just a minute. So now I'm just looking to see what else I can add to the page. There's so many cool things to choose from, and it's really hard to pick, so it takes me a little bit of time. And there's that banner. I put a pop dot underneath the end of it to give it some more dimension. And I'm really sorry that my page is not in full screen. I have a tendency to pull the page really, really close to me while I'm working. So I apologize for that. I'll try to be more mindful of that on my next process video. So I add just a little scrap at the top left corner of the photo because I want to add this banner that says Anchors Away, but I feel like it needs a few layers behind it. So I put that one little scrap, and it looks okay right now, but I do end up putting another label behind it just to make it kind of pop a little bit more. And I really want something up there on the top left corner of that photo. I want to create like a little cluster. So I pull out almost every single sticker, trying to put every single sticker on that top left corner. It doesn't hurt to try, right? So I end up putting this little rope, thingamajig up there, and that's really cute. It's just a fun little detail. Looks like a little curly Q. So I end up putting that up there, and then I'm looking around trying to see. I try to put every single sticker from that collection on this page because I think because I'm just so excited. You know how you're so excited to use a collection for the first time and you have so many different options, you just don't know which one to pick? Yep, that's me on this layout. And then the more you use the collection, your options become more limited, so it becomes a little bit more easier for you to choose what you're going to put on the layout. So as you can see, I did put that little, it's like a wooden, a wood grain label behind that Anchors Away to kind of make it pop a little bit more. And I like it because it ties in with the wooden planks that we're standing on, so. And then I get the enamel shapes out, and I'm trying to put, Lord knows how many enamel shapes I'm trying to put on that page. And I love, love, love these flare, guys. Look at that flare. It's so, so cute. It's the little boat wheelie thing. I don't know the term, I'm sorry. Anyway, so that's the end of my page, guys. I end up sprinkling some navy Heidi Shine, and I added a few enamel dots, and that's it. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and happy crafting. Bye!